Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another Monday night live stream. I hope everybody is well. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I hope you had a chance to do a little bit of hobby, maybe even play a game. Who knows? So let me know in the chat what you've been up to. We've got loads to be talking about tonight, so we're going to crack on and get straight into it. We're going to have a look in the chat, see who we've got in, say hello to a few faces. We've got the Ace of Base giveaway, or the Ace of Base challenge kind of competition, if you like. There's a random giveaway to everybody that entered the challenge and completed the challenge. I've got everybody's images that they've sent me. So we've got, I think it's like 35 people completed, or I should say 35 people emailed me the photographs. If I've missed anybody off, it's because you didn't email me. It was really clear in the explanation that you had to email me the stuff. So I apologize if I haven't got your stuff. I did say it had to be emailed to me. And obviously, as the title says, the good and the bad from the GW reveals at the weekend. I'll be going over specifically the kill team, Pariah Nexus, and the Warhammer Quest, Cursed City. We'll touch on the other stuff very, very briefly, but those are the two main ones that, let me not say interest me, those are the two that give me the most to talk about, let's be honest. So let's have a quick look in the chat, see which lovely people we've got joining us this evening. We've got some good numbers in already, nice and early, nice to see. We've got Marcus the Super Pumpkin Man, was in at like 20 past 5 or something, about 4 hours ago. Nice one, mate, nice to see you. Dirk Ignazek as well, he says, you're not sure if you can make tonight, but he left a like anyways. Always appreciated. Leaving a like, folks. I mean, I know everyone begs for likes, but there's a reason why people do that. It gives YouTube the nudge to say people are enjoying this. So if you do like these live streams, please do consider giving it a bit of a thumbs up. Peter Koeman says good evening as well. Hello to Lord Maiden. Hello ASDF. Mark Wright is in as well. Ortega is in. Looking forward to seeing the pics of the Ace of Base in the catch-up. Christopher Warden, good afternoon to you. Stu Hayes as well. Nice to see you too, sir. James DW says, hello everyone. A nice walk through the Corpse Garden sounds relaxing. In reference to Warhammer Quest. Yes, mate, I'll talk about that more soon. Blizzard says, ahoy hoy. Have you got the wrong stream, mate? Battlehammer was on at the weekend. We've also got Mark Coxey, said he's working hard to clear his backlog so I can justify picking up Cursed City. I'm sensing a bit of a pattern with this Cursed City, I'll be fair. Good evening to Christian, the legend there. Nice to see you in, sir. Bloggy's in as well, saying, hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I know this is all about Saturday's announcement, but let's not forget on Sunday they announced the Codex supplement for the Best Legion. I've seen the chat after that, mate. Yes, but Dark Angels was announced. Tony Howell says, evening, my lovelies. Hoping you're all keeping well. Nice to see you too, sir. James Breer's in as well. Hello to you. Hello, Dave Mackay. Simon Parfit, good evening to you. Simon Tuckley says, yeah, it's Monday. It seems to have come round fast this week. Stuart Murtry's in as well. Hello to you. Hello, Barry Kleiber. Seeing there's a winter storm warning here in Chicago. Oh, dear me, mate. Hope everybody is nice and safe in that case. Lord Maiden says, I have my side. Come on, BlackJack. You were 4 minutes too early, mate. On the dot, 9 o'clock every week. There's none of this kind of like the live stream starting and then 10 minutes of just a blank screen kind of like. A lot of streamers do that. I've never understood why they do that. I'd rather have a ramble with like 2 or 3 people if that's all was in to let people come in and kind of join the stream. If I go to a live stream and they've just got that holding screen on and it's been on for like 5 minutes, I tend to disappear and I might pop back later. So I'm not really sure why folks do that. Joachim says good evening as well. When can we get our hands on Cursed City? I'll touch on that when I go into the detailed stuff, mate. Alder Von Well, good evening to you. It's his first time catching the live stream. It's 5 a.m. here, so I need more coffee. Good morning to you, sir, down under there. I was looking at your pictures today as well when I was putting everything together. You're certainly one of the folks that's joined the Ace of Base challenge, so thank you for completing that and taking part. Simon saying he's looking forward to Cursed City plus new models for Warcry is always good. I'm not sure if there'll be a direct correlation for Warcry, but you can certainly house rule them in. James Zorn, good evening to you, mate. He says he's winding down on the work day. Bobby Clark, good evening, sir. Hope you're doing well. Ed Hanley's in as well. Scott Latham's in. Lord Maiden says you have a slight echo. Is anybody else getting that? There's certainly not. I wonder if it shouldn't be. I've turned off. Let me have a look. It's not coming back through my. Let me try that. Is that better? I think it's because I've got my laptop picked in. I've got my laptop plugged in to share all of the images and stuff like that, and I think it was picking up on the microphone from my laptop. It should be fine now. I've just saw it. Thank you very much. Who else have we got in? Phil Campbell, Christian Sabine, Adam Jackson, hello to you lot. John Kellogg's in as well, or he was till he jumped off the top of my screen. There he is. Steve Evans is in as well. Ed Handley's in. We'll just say hello to his. The salt started flowing about plastic flayed ones and heavy cessers being Kill Team exclusive. Yeah, we'll touch on that as well, mate. Andrew Fairbanks, hello to you, mate. So he was interested in buying new Kill Team when it was announced, but then showed all the cool AOS stuff. And Rob Zunk's in as well, so he just thought he'd stop and say hi. Thanks for popping in, mate. True Blues 77, nice to see you. From Morian's in as well. Simon Morton. We've got Krabby in as well. We've got Oborg says good morning from Australia. We've got plenty of Australians who like to get in nice and early. Nice to see you. Marcus says the new Warhammer quest, Andy is a freaking psychic. I called it like, I don't know why that's what I thought it was going to be, but that's what I thought it was going to be. John Estel, good evening, mate. He spent the day in a Zoom training. It's good you can't see me. Flips is in and saying first time here, quite enjoying it. Quite enjoying it, mate. Get yourself comfy, get yourself a drink, prepare to have the best night of your life. Pusey's in as well. Good evening to you. Miniature Adventures says, you handsome devil, good to see the COVID hasn't slowed you down. What are you going to do, mate? You just got to crack on, haven't you? Speaking of COVID stuff, my little boy's nursery has somebody in the nursery has contracted COVID. So because my little boy, who's like 4 years old, has been in contact with them at some point, he now has to isolate. So he's come home from nursery. So today I've been kind of like trying to occupy him while getting the live stream set up. And then I've been doing sort of daddy daycare all day. And then when my wife finished work for the day, I kind of came up here, had to tidy everything up and stuff like that, get all set up for the live stream and stuff. It's going to be a funny old week. So if the videos are a bit slower this week, that's the reason why. Trying to look after a 4-year-old while my wife's on meetings all day and stuff. It's going to be a funny old week. Warwick Dark Edge says they do the blank screen so they can sit on the toilet beforehand. I don't start at 9 o'clock, mate. I've had a good 12 hours to go to the toilet. Mark Corley says, hope everyone's well. Lord Maiden says, I always get prepared early, just a bit impatient. But yeah, I always come on, bang on 9 o'clock. There's no point in kind of hanging around for 10 minutes. Like, start the stream and then hang around for 5 or 10 minutes. Never understood that. Alan Jackson says they have a holding screen as they're calling different guests to the show. They could do that before they started. I don't understand that. Dice Tail says, not been here for a while. Curse City seems interesting. Kill Team again, but probably the world back to normal. Yes, mate. Yes, we'll touch on them, all that stuff. Peter Koeman, echo just a bit. I think we've cleared that up now, yes. Ariel Sanchez from Castleberry in Florida. Hope you're well and safe. I'm very well, thanks, and I hope you are too, you and your family. Where's it? Everyone's saying, some people said they had a chat, some people said they had an echo, some said they don't. I think it was coming back through my laptop, but we sorted it. Andy Smith says hello. Have I missed anybody out there? No, everyone's just saying no echo. Andy Smith saying hello. Clath's doing Slanesh. Sarah's doing Fushy at Court, and he's doing side and learn to play the ukulele. There you go. Christian saying, don't say the last E. I would say, so it's just Sabine. I would have always thought Sabine with an E on the end, mate. But there you go. George is in as well. Hello, George. Hello, Phil Wilkinson. Nice to see you. Tim Kelly, hello to you, sir. Is it Taliesin? Cheers from Poland. No, I don't know what hello is in Polish. I had a feeling I might have done, but no, I don't. Hello to Palmsy as well. Austin Thornhill from LA. Oh, what can I say, mate? Good taste. I hope you are anyway. Flips is saying the kettle's on. Busey saying trying to crack on that Grant's whiskey. I've been having a little bit of a whiskey journey over the weekend. I decided to try some of the... I've got a few different whiskies that people have bought me for gifts over time and stuff, so I was kind of cracking them open, trying a few at the weekend, which was quite nice. Spunky Taz, hello to you. And Phil's saying, Andy is like, no chance he's a G-dub plant. I don't think they want anything to do with me, mate. I wouldn't worry about being a plant. Where else we are? Pomsy saying his name's still on the stream. That's just a result. Peter saying, I've got Tasty Brain Drain. Nice to see you in. Peter saying, anyone else not caught the GW announcements yet? Well, we'll be covering them tonight anyway. Spiderlord says, a 4-year-old child's play. Honestly, he's a bright kid, so he's asking questions all the time. He's wanting to do stuff like it, and it's not. But I mean, like he's my son. Of course, I'm going to do stuff with him. But it's not a case of like, I can't like sit him down for an hour while I do something else in the same room kind of thing. That's just out the window. So yeah, I was trying this morning to like while he was having breakfast, trying to do all the live stream stuff this morning, do the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff that normally takes me ages. Richard Smith, good evening to you, mate. James says typical Andy goes live, my internet goes on the wonk. True Blues, and this might have already been asked. Are you planning to do any more fighting fantasy playthroughs? Yes, mate, I definitely will be, mate. I've done 2 or 3 so far now. I think we did. Oh, what did we do? I think we've done 3 so far, mate. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing another one. In fact, we might see how it goes. We might do one next week. John S. Stolton, Zendobri. That might be the one I don't know if I pronounced it right, but that's the word I remember now. Yeah, we got VJ's in. Good morning to you as well, mate. Tasty Brain Drain saying a whiskey journey, yes. Steele says it's Burns night, definitely a whiskey night. I forgot it was Burns night. Yeah, happy Burns night to our Scottish friends. Fiji says, so GW hasn't reached out since you hit 10k. If I hit 100k, mate, I can't see them reaching out to me. I cover too many different stuff. They tend to like to get involved with the folks that are very much GW fanboys, I think. Who else we got? We've got all the regulars in. People having a bit of a chat. James is on the Isla single malt tonight. Nice, mate. I had a few space sides, and I did treat myself to a nice bourbon as well over the weekend. ER910's in as well. Says Curse City Day 1. He got into Blackstone Fortress laced and missed the expansions. Simon says beard's coming on strong. Make sure you're using oils and teas in the hair video. It's all. I literally I've had to wax it tonight to try and give it some kind of shape because it's grown out wild, mate. It's kind of stuck down to my face tonight. So, Marcus is saying parents would just open a huge bag of Lego and let me go nuts. Yeah, he loves Lego, but he wants to play things with it. Like, he wants to like kind of like saying, "Will you do this with me? Can we do this?" And he loves showing me stuff and talking me through stuff. There's no chance of me like kind of filming anything. For example, I can maybe get away with like writing like scripts and stuff for future videos. I can't like sit and paint or anything like that. I can't sit and read rule books, so I might as well just kind of embrace it really. So the plan really is, obviously we've got the stuff to talk about tonight. I'll get the Tuesday clips video out of tonight's video, potentially because we're talking about Kill Team and Cursed City. I might get a couple out of tonight, so that might kind of like tide people over that don't watch the live streams. But the stuff I've been working on, and I'll talk about it. I've got my Malifaux how to play video that's kind of 50% done. I needed some more terrain painting up to put in the B-roll shots, the nice kind of like this is how you play stuff. So I'm busy painting up the Wild West Exodus terrain that I've got, and because I'm painting it, I'm filming it as well. So how to paint the Wild West Exodus MDF terrain. So I'm halfway through that as well. So I've got lots of projects on the go. This is all the stuff you don't see behind the scenes, the bits that I have to get things ready to then film things. Joel Wrigley, hello to you, mate, as well. Hello, Kath. Jimmy G says Woodford Reserve. That's what I bought myself, mate. Actually, a bottle of Woodford Reserve. I'd never had it before, so yes, I decided to treat myself. Joel Wrigley, Death Trap Dungeon, Island of Lizard King, City of Thieves. I knew we'd done 3, mate, but I couldn't think what they were. Taliesin says, kind of off topic, but maybe a great place to ask this. Some time ago, I found a company that makes miniature games revolving around 2 to 3 party fighting on a ring. I can't recall it. Going nuts on a ring. Do you mean like a boxing ring, like a wrestling ring thing, or do you mean like I'm not really sure, mate. Andy Smith looking forward to more Malifaux stuff. Right, I tell you what we're going to do, folks. We're going to dive in. We've got some good numbers in here tonight. I'm going to go through some of the Ace of Base stuff. We've got loads, so it's going to take a while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in batches. So what you'll see here when we switch across to this screen, you'll see I've got all of these are a separate folder for all the different people that submitted stuff. So we'll start with Aaron Walker, and it's in alphabetical order from first name. That's the fairest way to kind of show them. So this is some of the basing he's been doing. I must admit, I'm not familiar with the models, and everybody that emailed me, they sent some lovely emails and kind of like said thank you for doing the challenge and all this kind of stuff and kind words about the channel and stuff. And I have read them all, but I can't keep referencing them all tonight while we're on the stream. But so I know the Warcry terrain, but I'm not familiar with the models themselves. However, the basing is top notch, mate. Thank you very much, Aaron. So there's the first name we've got in the hat. Adam Edgar. Now, Adam has been doing some amazing Death Guard stuff, and I saw that the finished photograph. I hadn't seen this kind of like work in progress one, and I didn't realise just how much kind of kit bashing he'd done on this. I don't know all the parts for the Death Guard stuff and where the different pieces have come from, but it looks really awesome. I love the tentacle type stuff that he's done as well, with the different bits that's being kit bashed there. But if we scroll through to some of the others, you can see it all coming together. I mean, it's a unique kind of colour scheme. It was featured on the GW community sort of stream as well, and it's actually, if you go and look at the Great Unclean one on the GW website, Adam's Great Unclean one is on there as well. But yeah, the basin's lush as well. Let's see if we can get you can see here on the basin, I particularly like when people do these kind of like blood, like you use like oohoo glue and stuff, don't you? And like kind of like drip the blood stuff down. I love the way people do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of suitably overboard, and I do like that one. So nicely done, Adam. We got Adam Jackson, another Adam in as well. This one, I'm not sure what game this is for. They do look, it might be just some kind of like sort of pike and shot type thing. But yeah, very nicely done, mate. I love the way you've kind of finished the base. Love the way these bases mix in as well. The kind of the leaves on the paths, the little skull lying there as well. Looks like we've got some kind of sort of plant or some tree growing. Really nicely done, mate. Thank you very much, Adam Jackson. Alder Von Well, who's in the chat tonight as well. I think if I remember right, these for a game called Twisted or something like that. And again, we'll just scroll in a little bit and see some of the details here. Love these little cogs and stuff. And I think you particularly gave me a bit of a spiel about all the different things you'd done and stuff. So I apologise for not reading that tonight. But yeah, these are really, really cool minis. I love this kind of stuff. Really, really nicely done. Whoops. In just some different angles of them as well. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And for those that don't know, the Ace of Base Challenge was really about just kind of like, it wasn't about who's the best painter, how many you can finish in a time. It was just about doing something different on a base that you've maybe not done before. And people have really kind of rose to the challenge. This one was Alan Smith's. Alan, I think, is pretty new to the hobby as well. And he wasn't that sure about these, but honestly, he's done a great job of them. That's obviously the back of the. That's not the mini there, but he's got. This is a different mini, this one, but he's got an oak there on a kind of like a ruined building base. This is the one that we saw from the other side. So you can see we've got a Space Marine Scout here, just kind of hiding out behind the rubble with the tires and the rocks and stuff. He's really kind of gone to town with that one. You see for some different angles as well, and that's it before he's put the mini on. Nicely done, mate. Nicely done, Barry Kleiber. Now, Barry gets a pass for this one because technically he's used clear bases. So he maybe hasn't done more about his base than he normally does. However, he is a base player. I have to take points off for the West Ham United badge, mate, but I'll cut you some slack. Seems you're over in Chicago. You don't know better. But yeah, really nice, mate, on these. I assume these are the, what they call the Blacks. Is it Black Sails or Black Seas? The Black Sea ships. But yeah, really nicely done, mate. Yeah, love them. Let's go on as well. Blizzards. He's got his oh God, mine's gone blank now. Whatever they are, the ones for Age of Sigmar. What are they called? So everybody will be shouting in the chat at me what they are because I can't see the chat at the minute. But yeah, the basin is really nice, mate. In the background, my mind's going, what the hell are they called again? But yeah, nice work, fella. Nice work on the base. And again, just from the other side there as well. Christian, now this one, he said, can I submit this one? I haven't managed to get finished. He submitted this on the Facebook group. He said, I haven't had time to do any hobby because I've been building a snowman. And I said, well, to be fair, that's probably the biggest base anybody's done. So he kind of gets included for the sheer cheekiness of asking to include this one. We got Claudio as well, who's been doing skiff there for I assume for Star Wars Legion. And the base in there, really nicely done, mate. Love what you've done there. And I love how the flying base as well just kind of slots into the top of that rock. Really does look effective. Clint Dawson, we're gonna have a look at his now. I forget, daughter's a king, I think, isn't it? Something like that. But yeah, I love the paint job, first of all. The colours really do stand out. But yeah, the basing's nice as well. Little skulls there tucked away, a bit of rocks. Nice, mate. Worth the extra effort for the basing there. And then we're going to go to... I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do the 2 Cs, and then I know where I'm up to for next time. This one is Connor Sutton's. This one is fantastic. Really do love this mini. I mean, we're not doing it about... It's not about paint jobs this so much. It's about the basing, but it'd be wrong if I didn't kind of show just how nice this is. Yeah, really, really nice basing on that one, mate. And then, yeah, the last of the C's, we've got Simon Dave, and he's been doing a Marine here. Is it a Chaos Marine? I can't tell, actually. Yeah, but the basing, I love like cork basing. Just it's super simple, but it always looks effective. Really nicely done, mate. Really nicely done. Awesome. Right, so those are the C's done. I'll remember now. Right, what we'll do now is we'll crack on and we'll start. We'll talk about. Let me just very quick look at the chat and see what I've missed or anything. Everyone's just saying, yeah, minus Stormcaster. Why could I not remember that name? Yeah, everyone's Vanguard Raptors. Everyone's having a good look through all the different bits and pieces, saying cool. The demon is amazing, says Christian. Yes, it is. I've got no idea where the demon's from, mate. Oh, Connor's saying there, it's a creature caster, Lord of Malice. Right, what I'm going to do then is if I can go get my screens right, because I've got loads of little screens open here, which is why I've got my laptop connected. We will dive in. If I can click the right buttons. There we go. So, at the weekend, Games Workshop had their new preview, their new reveal, called The Dead and the Divine. And a couple of things that stood out to me was they talked about Kill Team, and they talked about a new game that they were releasing. And I want to kind of focus on the Kill Team one in this part of the video. If we scroll down, I'll let you read through some of the other stuff yourself if you want to go to their to the GW Warhammer community site. But they announced Kill Team Pariah Nexus. And very specifically and more recently, they said this was going to be an expansion for Kill Team. So I know some people were getting excited about the idea of Kill Team 2.0, new rules coming, falling more in line with 9th edition and stuff like that. I didn't think that's what was coming, because I had read and they had said this was going to be an expansion. And essentially, Pariah Nexus, you won't be surprised to know, is essentially, and I'll kind of click that on in the background just while we're talking, is essentially an expansion for the Kill Team rules as they are now, and it contains Space Marines and it contains Necrons. And unsurprisingly, with all of the stuff that's been coming out for 9th edition, with the Indomitus box set, with all of the new starter sets, pretty much all of the models that's been released recently, it's all Space Marines and it's all Necrons. So it's not kind of unsurprising. What is kind of surprising is, if I can skip ahead in the video here a little bit, is the terrain and stuff. This is going very much back to Kill Team. What was it called? Kill Team. My mind's gone blank now. Arena. That was it. I couldn't think what it was. Kill Team Arena. It's kind of reminded me of that. So as it says there, new box set coming soon. Now, if we can go down here, we'll come back to the minis in a second, because that's got a bit more we want to talk about. But we come here to what's in the box itself. So we get 1 Space Marine Captain, and we get 5 Space Marine Heavy Intercessors. For the eagle-eyed of you who didn't see this at the weekend, will know those Heavy Intercessors are not available to buy yet. So this is the first place that you'll be able to buy them if you want some Heavy Intercessors for your Marine Force. And there is a Necron Chronomancer, and there are 5 Necron Flayed Ones. And again, the Space Marine Captain, the Necro Chronomancer, and the 5 Necron Flayed Ones, these are all brand new models that have not been available to buy anywhere else. So regardless of what else is in this set is going to sell well, because there are a lot of people who will have bought Indomitus, might have bought some of the new starter sets and want to expand their force. And they'll be wanting these minis, but they don't want to wait until they're available kind of to buy as separate units. And I'm assuming there'll be kind of some form of discount really as well, the way these box games go. So that's one thing. I think there are some people are getting a little bit kind of frustrated by the fact there's this new stuff coming and the only way I can get it is in this new set. But of course it will be available later down the line. and I would imagine not too long after. You get 48 Necron terrain pieces, which, as you can see here, I wonder if I can zoom in a little bit more so we can see here. What you can see is it's essentially like a kill team board, the Warcry size boards, obviously double-sided, and it allows you to fight in the kind of close confines, very much like Kill Team Arena did, very much like Warcry Catacombs did. So there's none of the nice big kind of terrain pieces that we saw in the Kill Team starter set, or in the original Warcry set either. It's essentially a few bits of blocking terrain and stuff. You'll notice as well, if I can make that a little bit, we'll make that a bit smaller again. Yep, you'll see as well you get the Kill Team Pariah Nexus book, which is essentially rather some like an expansion, like a campaign book type thing. It'll have some new rules in just to play this kind of a game, and it's got 34 objective cards as well. So on the face of it, it's not too bad. It looks like a decent set. Price wise, I'm kind of thinking we might be surprised by the price of this, and the reason I think we might be surprised is the fact that there is only 6 Space Marines in it and 6 Necron models. If you go back to things like the Kill Team original starter sets, you were getting like 10-man sprues in there for each team, so like 20 models. You were getting lots of terrain. If you look at the Catacomb set for Warcry recently, for all the kind of the board in the scatter terrain, might be similar. There was a bit more building terrain in Catacombs. There were more models. I think if I remember right, there's about 9 to 10 models per side from the 2 teams that were in Catacombs. So I think, and also that notably, there's no rule book in this either. There's no Kill Team core rule book. So I think we might be surprised at the price of this. It'll certainly be sub £100. It wouldn't surprise me if it's around that kind of £85 mark. Even that might still be a bit expensive. If we think Kill Team Arena was about £55, but you got 2 boards and you didn't get any miniatures in it. So it's all well and good. If you've bought Indomitus, if you're just getting started in 9th edition and you want to kind of expand your forces and you maybe want to have the odd game of Kill Team, you might be thinking this is not bad. My problem with this, and why I think this is bad, is this is not what serious Kill Team players have been waiting for. Like, Kill Team players don't want like a little mission to play with a few more models. They want updated rules. They want additional stuff to use in their game. The other side of this as well is that actually from a points cost, Kill Team normally works on 100 points per side. And what you've got here is 5 Necron Flayed Ones and a Necron Chronomancer. That, as far as I'm concerned, from what I know about 9th edition points, that is not 100 points worth of a Kill Team. And what I know from kind of Space Marine heavy intercessors and the Space Marine captains, you've probably got more than 100 points on that one, but not a particularly kind of sort of flexible force, if you like. So instantly it seems unbalanced. I'm assuming the Kill Team Pariah Nexus kind of campaign book maybe takes that into account. Maybe Flayed Ones can come back. Maybe they're intentionally kind of like unbalanced, what's the word I'm looking for? Asymmetric campaign sort of missions. Maybe that's the whole point of it. But I'll be honest, I'm a bit disappointed in this. Yes, the models are nice. Yes, the boards look pretty cool and stuff. But if you've never played Kill Team before, you want to get into Kill Team, it's not a bad starter box, but you still have to buy the core rules. So the core rules are not in there. If you're somebody that plays Kill Team now, I don't think this is really what you've been looking for. So it feels like an excuse to sell lots of heavy intercessors and lots of Necron Flayed Ones very quickly to kind of pay for their molds and get them out there. So what you'll find is this will sell out fast. This will, or it'll certainly sell fast. And the reason it'll sell fast is not because it's Kill Team, but because it's the only way you can get these miniatures sort of from day one. The only saving grace for this, and fills me with a little bit of kind of hope, is the fact is because they haven't included a core box, maybe there is a Kill Team 2.0 coming down the line at some point. Because if they'd included the rules in the box and then the new rules came out later on, it might have made this a little bit kind of redundant straight away. So, who knows? All I would say at this stage is that essentially, it's not what people wanted. Yes, it's going to sell well. All Games Workshop stuff sells well. That's not really the point. The price needs to be keen, really, I think. And I think the price will be important. If this is like £120, most people won't even give it a second look. But I think if it's competitively priced, I think people will buy it for the minis. It's coming at a time when a lot of people at the moment can't really get together for face-to-face gaming, and it doesn't really add anything to core Kill Team for that kind of hardcore crowd. So let me know in the comments what you think. I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of Kill Team, but this is a bit disappointing as far as a Kill Team release goes. It's good that GW are still bringing stuff out for it. They've obviously still got some kind of plan for Kill Team, but I'm not really sure who this is aimed at now. It's not a starter set. The two forces inside look a bit unbalanced. There's no core rules in the set, and from what I understand and from what I think, the main Kill Team crowd, this is not what they were looking for. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see what comes in the future. So folks, let's flick back over. We'll go back to the main screen and let's see what you all think about it. Let me get my chat back up. So, Andrew Fairbanks, thank you very much for the donation. I've just seen that, mate. Oh, it might actually come up. It might pop up now. It will do at some point anyway. Long Strikes, that's what they were called. I forgot their names. Arena, yes, thank you very much. James is saying, I do like the Chronomancer. I think they're all nice models, mate. I've got no issues with the quality of the models. I think they're great. I'm just... Andrew Fairbanks, I'm so proud of you that we can see and hear you this time. I don't know why that's not come up on the chat yet, mate. We're going to have one of them problems again tonight. But thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the minis, mate. I think they're great minis. I think the boards always look really good. I'm always impressed with kind of how 3D those flat boards look. The Necron terrain stuff I think is fine as well. It's great as scatter terrain, and it's not too Necron focused that it won't look out of place in other kind of locations in your games. I'm just not really sure who this is aimed at. It feels like a kind of like a, we need to sell a load of these minis. How's the best way to box them up? Let's put them in a Kill Team box and let's push loads out there, because maybe people are getting a bit burned out of like new Necron and new Space Marine releases all the time. Let's package them up into something else and we'll sell a boatload of them, kind of thing. Neil Pilot saying the Necron flayed ones look pretty cool. Yeah, they're brand new flayed ones. They look really good. They've had a bit of a boost in 9th edition as well, so definitely a reason to get them to the table. But yeah, I think they're kind of taking advantage of the fact that they're new models. Ed Hanley says, if it's intended to be competitive, they've really screwed the pooch. The flayed ones would eat the Astartes for breakfast. Not according to the points costs, mate. And I think that's the problem with the balance of it. And it's not. I don't think it is meant to be competitive. I think that's one of the things. Marcus is saying the new flayed ones look way better. They certainly do. James is saying Warhammer on boards just seems wrong. It's starting to become a bit of a common theme now. It's a way to, because I think one of the things in the past is the terrain for Warhammer has always been made out in China, and all of the miniatures tend to get made in the UK. And I do wonder how much of our current situation is starting to inform some of these box sets. It feels like a bit of a worrying trend. I'm wondering if they're doing it to kind of cut the cost of manufacturing and actually make and sort of claw back more profit for themselves. I wonder how much of it's influenced by China production and not being able to get it out to the UK in time. It's a worrying trend though, these kind of like scatter terrain type stuff. Dice Tail says board kind of looks open with the bridge over water compared to Arena. I don't think it is open, mate. There's doors and stuff. A lot of those things were doors. If I can find it again, I'll see if I can kind of zoom in and find a bit of a better picture. Just bear with me while I. So if I can go back to here, you can see on. Can you see my? Yeah, you can see my cursor. So these here are doors, I believe. So let's see if we can scroll in a little bit more. And oh, of course, it's going to jump around there when I did that. There we are. Yeah, I think these are doors, and these are like kind of bits of scatter terrain. There's obviously walkways here, so these are obviously meant to be kind of some types of rooms or something like that. It's not very inspiring, if I'm honest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're nice enough looking things. It also looks like you've got these kind of small. I don't think they might be the Necron flayed ones actually. You've essentially got these kind of boxes and these kind of doors. Really, that's like 48 of them. There's probably rules for opening doors and all that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of uninspired by those. Let me just put that back to a proper size when we start talking about the other one. Yeah, I'm kind of uninspired, I would say. Busey's saying the set will be worth it just for the Necron terrain and boards. I'm not so sure, mate. I'm not so sure that there's only one board in it. It's double-sided, so you're not going to be able to play a kind of like combat patrol size games. You'll need 2 of them boards. I'm sure they might sell more boards in the future. I'm sure people will probably sell the boards off and just want the models inside. But I'm not. It depends on the price, mate. I'm not sure it would be worth it just for those. David says he's going to consider the Space Marine Adventures Labyrinth of the Necrons, the sequel. It's kind of got that feel about it. Radek saying cool flayed ones, but the whole set is painfully underwhelming unless it's really cheap. Yeah, that's exactly where my head's at. It's got to be priced competitively. James is saying, I bet this will be like 60 quid. I'll say about 80. I think we'll be near 80, 85. If you think the flayed ones are probably going to be around 30 quid, or 25 quid on their own. If you think the Chronomancer's probably going to be about 20 quid. So we're talking probably about 45, 50 quid's worth of stuff for Necrons. We're probably talking 30, 35 quid for the Intercessors. Probably another 20, 25 quid for the Captain. So we're getting up towards about 100 quid's worth of minis. There'll be a bit of discount. There always is in this type of stuff. But I still think we're talking maybe 80, 85 quid. Even 90 to 95 would not surprise me with the current price creep with some of the Games Workshop stuff. So as long as it's priced right, I think people will just buy it for the minis. I'm sure they will. But it just doesn't feel like what Kill Team needed. It feels like an excuse to sell more models. Peter saying I'm pretty sure the set will be worth it for the models if you want them. Busey saying could be post-Brexit prices for Europe. I think it's different, mate, because I think they have. I'm not sure how it works for GW. Whether because they're shipping to their own hubs in those countries, whether they get around it a different way as opposed to shipping to individuals in those countries. James says won't be a very big box, will it? I'm imagining it'll be around the kind of the Kill Team Arena box size, I'd imagine. Or actually probably maybe more like if anybody remembers the Rogue Trader box that came out when Kill Team first came out, maybe something along them lines. Ed saying I'm mainly a Kill Team player. I think it's fine. It doesn't add anything really though, mate, does it? It's going to just be like it's going to be a few extra rules as opposed to an update to Kill Team. Simon says I'm thinking around 100 mark through GW. Yeah. Andrew saying if it's over $100 it's a non-seller, even with how awesome the Necrons are. Ed saying what really serious Kill Team players want is the FAQ update. Yeah, and that's it, mate. I think basically, I think people were really hoping that this set might have been a new starter, a Kill Team 2.0, a really kind of updated, FAQ'd, bring everything up to the points cost of 9th edition. I think that's what people were hoping for, and that's definitely not what it is. And Neil saying that happens in Infinity 2 player sets too. Dice Tale says makes me think of that new computer game GW of the video for that looked cool. 2 mismatch heroes. It's in the current starter box is going nowhere. Yeah, it's certainly not going anywhere until they replace it. That's for sure. Krabby said, I don't think balance is relevant when it's an expansion. Really, the box will be snapped up by people who want the models. But that's the point. You want the models. You're not really interested in the game, and that's exactly what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is I think they've used this as a vehicle to sell a load of miniatures. How can we sell more Necrons and Marines to people that bought Indomitors? So they want both. If they released them as 2 separate boxes from the off, I'm not sure everybody would buy both. But this is a quick way to just ship them out and get them out quick. I think the problem with when it comes to balance and stuff is that balance is not really important. I'll be perfectly honest. It's whether it's fun or not. But if it's very one-sided, if the kind of the missions aren't intentionally one-sided and take that into account, if one side's just going to keep winning, then it's not fun anymore, and that's when balance goes wrong. Christian saying, grab yourself some BlackJack merch. Thank you very much, mate. You will now see, now I passed 10,000 subscribers, it actually advertises my merchandise along the bottom of my videos now. So if you're not watching the video in full screen, you should see I've got a little merchandise shop that links into Teespring now. Radek says the Kill Team starters keep getting worse. The original one was incredible compared to this one. I don't think it's a starter, mate. It's just an expansion, so I wouldn't even consider it as one. Busey saying 70 quid. It's jumping around a bit there. Spiderlord saying Rogue Trader didn't sell out. Yeah, that's it, mate, as well. It didn't sell out. That hung around for ages, that. Where this one, they've included model. People will buy this for the models. I'd love to know the balance of 80% buy it for the models, 20% buy it because they want a Kill Team expansion. Kath saying it's costing 8 to 12k a container from China. Maybe that's affecting things. I think potentially it's a big thing. I know a lot of the terrain comes out of China. The miniatures basically come out of the UK, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's driving them down a very slightly different path with this kind of stuff. Steve Evans saying it looks a little bit boring. I'd like to hear more about it, mate, but it's certainly not on my kind of must-buy list, that's for sure. Dice said, I'm not the right kind of Kill Team product for pandemic gain, and he's saying Dice Tales is saying it would have been planned before the pandemic. I think the problem is every miniature company is in this. Do they basically stop releasing stuff until people can play again, or do they release stuff because people want the models? And I think 90% of the time, or 95% of the time, people just want the models. They want new stuff to paint and to maybe get ready to be able to play games. If they stopped releasing stuff because of a pandemic and people can't play as much, I think essentially that they just wouldn't be releasing anything, and so I think that's never going to happen. I mean, there's nothing to say they haven't put some solo missions in there, but you think they would have actually talked about that one. Palmsy saying not the best box, Necrons and Space Marines again. I get the whole thing is, mate, that's exactly what they want to do, though. Necrons and Space Marines are the big thing. They did it with Death Guard and Space Marines, obviously, for 8th edition, didn't they? Greg Cherry there saying cash grab models and appease disgruntled Kill Team players. I don't even think it's appeasing them, that's the problem. Murphic saying the box will probably be a cheap cardboard too. Right. Krabby says that's not fair. It does add an indoor play system. When Warcry released the indoor box thing, everyone thought it was great. No, everyone didn't think it was great, mate. Lots of people, especially Warcry players, hated the idea of it. I personally thought it was great because it was just a different way to play it, because I don't play it competitively the way a lot of Kill Team players do. When Kill Team Arena came out, it was kind of universally hated upon, and Kill Team players have gave loads of feedback to Games Workshop to say that Kill Team doesn't play best in those confined kind of spaces, and I guess Kill Team players hope that GW would listen to that. I guess maybe this is a halfway house type thing, but Kill Team Arena is pretty much unplayed these days. Nobody really plays it outside of people playing the odd home game here and there. It's certainly not part of the competitive circuit, which is what it was designed for, with its kind of symmetrical terrain and stuff. I think they're two separate games, mate, and they're two different player bases. People that play Kill Team versus people that play Warcry are looking for two different things. So I'm not knocking it because it's I'm not saying Kill Team bad, Warcry good. I'm saying Kill Team players don't like to play the confined space games. And saying not really a fan of how both Kill Team and Warcry are going in regards to corridor and enclosed space fighting. They both play better with verticality. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, to be fair. David says, I theoretically buy it for the expansion, but chances are I'd never play it. It spits his Kill Team. Yeah, I think you and a few others as well. Ed Hanley says, where was it universally hated? I think if you speak to a lot of the competitive players, Kill Team Arena pretty much just got forgotten about, a bit like some of the Kill Team expansions, a bit like Road Trader. I'm not saying it's hated, it's just not part of the it's not part of the competitive set, if you like. It never gets played. Alder saying not a fan of most GW stuff. Most of the games have better support. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that one. Ed saying one of the big TTS events right now is Arena. I can imagine it is on TTS, mate, because it works better, because it's like there's less open space. I think it's probably horses for courses. You certainly never saw, certainly from a UK perspective that I remember, I never saw any Kill Team Arena events. And I'm sure there was some and I missed them, but it certainly wasn't the one that everyone talked about. Tony says, off topic, we just tried casting the live stream to my TV. Works brilliantly, but one of the plugs will not stop barking at the telly, so I'm going to have to go back on the laptop. sorry that your dogs are barking, mate. Ed saying he's on competitive Kill Team Discords. A lot of people will tell you it's the best way to play. I stand corrected, mate, but it's not what I've heard. And I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. I don't know anybody that plays Arena. What's TDS? I think it's TTS, mate. Tabletop Simulator. Collison, did we already talk about Warhammer Quest? No, we haven't. But what we are going to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at more of the Ace of Base stuff. So let's go into the D's now. So Daniel Kennedy snuck in right at the last minute, did Daniel? But he's been doing some awesome basing on his sorry, I was looking at the screen there at the same time on his Armada stuff here. Really nice. I think if I remember right, you said that this is the first time you'd used any kind of like water effect type stuff as well. But that looks really cool, mate. There's a couple of other pictures there as well, just to see how it's kind of leaning into the sea there as well. Looks awesome, dude. Nice job. We've also got Dave Mackay. No idea what this model is, but I love it, and I love the basing as well, mate. It looks like you've used either some kind of acrylic mediums, gels, whether it's gloss or something like that. But it really does kind of does raise it up as well. Nice on the skin tones there as well. Nicely done, sir. Coming on down, we've got Dominic. I love this base. I like that kind of almost kind of cartoony segregation of colours. I know not everybody's a fan of it, but I love it. But nicely done, mate. Nice lava base there as well. And there's another shot here. Basically, you just see it without the model on as well. Nice, 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 mate. We've got Ian Pennells doing the kind of lava bases as well, but done with like kind of like a crackle base. Really nicely done, mate. I'm pretty sure, yes, this is the K-Knight Shadowstalkers for Warcry. Nice job, mate, on the bases there. I'm sure they fit really nice with the Catacombs board as well. James Bray, above and beyond Mr. Bray with his picture here as well. And if anybody that's in our Discord group or has been in the live streams will know what a nightmare he had when it started leaking when he poured in the water effects in it. But whatever problems you had, mate, it looks fantastic. Really, really nicely done. Nice little kind of sort of diorama type thing there. Awesome work, mate. Awesome work. I will put all these like up somewhere in a Facebook group or something as well at some point, so everybody can see them, because I realise I'm whizzing through them, but we've got stacks to do tonight. Jimmy G here as well, another Armada ship, and again, nice bit of base in there, mate. I'm not sure how you did it. I can't remember if I read that in the email or not, but it looks cool, mate. It looks really, really nice. That was Jimmy G. We've got Yoakum. Again, some really nice kind of lava basing as well. I think there's some ones with a bit of a... That's the ones with a bit of a darker background as well, so we can see the lava and stuff. Really nicely done. This is on the flame, Signs of Flame, isn't it? On the other side of the kilt of the not Kill Team, Warcry set. My mind going blank there. Really nice finish on those, mate. Nicely done, Yoakum. We've got Christian Reeves. Again, this one above and beyond. Absolutely wonderful piece of work here. Really, really cool diorama. Just everything just fits really well. A little bit of 3D printed stuff with the doors, bit of scratch built stuff. It just looks awesome, mate. And we'll flick around and see some different shots of it as well. It's just awesome. And like I say, everybody's done brilliant work, but like sort of these kind of diorama things are kind of above and beyond, but look really, really nice. Lovely paint job on them, mate, as well, and that really kind of shows off the work you've done. But yeah, we'll get these into a folder somewhere on Facebook or in the Discord, so people can kind of take a look at them at their leisure. We've got Maggie Selma. I think she's also new to the hobby as well, and she said she wasn't sure if she'd kind of done good enough or anything. This is absolutely awesome. And I was looking at this today when I was setting this up, and I was trying to see if that was a transfer or if she's... It just looked... I don't know I don't know this model base well enough to know. Like as I zoom in, I keep thinking, can I actually read that? It looks like there's some text on there that I can read. I don't know whether it's a transfer. I don't know whether she's just got a really, really steady hand. But it is an awesome piece of work. Really nicely done. You can see the base there from a couple of angles. And also with the sisters on the base there as well. Really nice piece of work, Maggie. Well done. We got Michael Techler's. And he's done, I forget what this model was for, but yeah, really, he went overboard with the skulls and really loaded them up, and then a little bit of water resin effects in there as well. Nicely done, Michael. How many we got left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go down to the end of the M's. Marco. Always enjoy seeing Marco's work, and again, basing wise, he's kind of gone above and beyond. Beautiful paint job on the miniature, obviously, as we expect from Marco. But yeah, the basing is awesome as well, mate. I don't know whether you scratch built this, whether this is a kind of a resin base, but well, however it is, it looks absolutely stunning, mate. Really nicely done. Got Marcus Schneider. Now these ones are a bit special because if you look at those with the kind of the resin bases on them and stuff, really really nice work done. He's done a good job with them. But then they're all LED lit as well, which looks unbelievable. It really, really sets them off. And he also submitted this one as well, which was kind of some Tomb Kings type thing. However, again, this one is LED lit as well. So yeah, really, really kind of taking it up to the next notch with a bit of LED lighting on them. Nice work, mate. And Mark Coley, I love this one, mate. There's just so much going on. Like, it's not distracting, but there's loads to see. Like Necron's arms in here and broken heads coming out in bits and pieces. We've got Necron's weapons kind of like just sinking down into the lava. We've got this big splash coming up here as well. Necron's skulls there. It's just really, really nicely done with the Salamanders Space Marine chapter there as well. And I love the flames on there, mate. Flames are always a bit more difficult to do. I think people tend to do them in reverse. They always do the bright bits on the outside, but that's the way they should be. Nicely done, man. Nicely done. So, we've got a few more to go through and then we'll do the live draw. But I'll very quickly dive back and we'll have a look in the chat and see what we've got. Yeah, everybody talking about the different stuff. Al saying, just give me a minute to gather my paints and brushes and throw them in a skip. I tell you what, mate. Always use other people's work as inspiration, but never use it to kind of like to make you feel bad about stuff. Everybody's been painting for different lengths of time. I'm not sure I could do it to the standard of 99% of the stuff that we've just seen tonight. So yeah, it's awesome. George saying, wow, Maggie. I know that's honestly that writing on that book, it looks too great. and I mean this in the nicest possible way, Maggie, if you're watching this. It looks too perfect to have been kind of like done by hand. That's why I was looking to see if it was a transfer or something, but it is really, really well done. Krabby saying, class stuff so far. Lovely addition of lighting and resin. Yeah, it's a nice addition, mate, isn't it? Charles Greenslade's his first time live stream. Welcome aboard, mate. Thank you very much for coming in. First time viewer. Simon Swan says, what's your camera setup? It looks amazing. Thank you very much, mate. It is, I've got a Canon 250D, so it's kind of like an entry-level Canon camera. It's nothing, I mean, they're not cheap, but it's not like they're expensive range ones. And then I've got a Sigma, I think it's like a Sigma 1.4 lens. So basically it's got a really kind of low aperture, so you get like a nice kind of blurred background on it and stuff. The lens was nearly as much as the camera was, to be fair. But yeah, it's got a nice auto zoom on it there as well, so you can kind of see it zoom. So if I move out of the way there, you can kind of see it focuses on the back. And then when I come back in, it gets a nice little bit of blur. But to be honest, 90% of it, mate, is lighting. If you get the lighting right, like the light behind me to kind of light the wall, and I've got lights in front of me here, you can get much better effects by spending money on light than you can by spending money on camera equipment. So if you've got a half-decent camera, lighting is what you need to go for. David says, that's definitely not a green screen behind Andy, pure wizardry. It's definitely not, mate. Look, I can pick things up from the background. There you go. Yes, it's real. It's real. Right. What we'll do now is then, if I can get my screen set up as well, we'll go and have a look back at the next one in our list as well, which was, if I can get to it, the Cursed City. So I'm just frantically scrolling down here to get to it. So, Let's go here and here. Right. So also announced Saturday was this new mystery game that GW had been talking about. And for those of you that saw my painting stream, my hobby hangout on Wednesday, I called this. I said, this is going to be Warhammer Quest. It's going to be set in the AOS universe. It's going to be kind of vampires and werewolves and witch hunters and kind of vampire hunters, that kind of thing. I was bang on. It was a pure guess based upon the aesthetic and the style of some of the teaser stuff that I'd seen. And I knew it wasn't going to be like a brand new game. I just had a feeling with Blackstone Fortress coming to an end, there was space for a new Warhammer Quest. And here we are, Warhammer Quest Cursed City. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of play this little trailer in the background. It kind of gives a bit of flavour, but it's more kind of narrative type stuff. But it's saying, speaking of vampires, an epic new Warhammer Quest game brings even more bloodsuckers to the mortal realms. If you and your friends have already defeated the Silver Tower and Blackstone Fortress, you'll find an exciting challenge ahead as you embark on the most dangerous quest yet, into the cursed city of Ulfenkarn. And essentially what the game is based upon is that there's this city, it has kind of, they've given themselves over to this kind of evil force, if you like, who's basically entombed them in this city, and he's bringing back the dead bodies and basically making slaves of the citizens and stuff. And then we have this band of, as you can see here, actually it's a good place to pause that. You've got this band of sort of heroes going in to try and rescue the city. And what we've got here is the person in the middle here is the kind of like the vampire hunter that we saw the miniature of. We've got a model here which looks like it's got sort of stag's sort of head coming out there. And if we come onto the map in a minute, I think Sylvaneth is mentioned as well. So potentially we could have a Sylvaneth type hero. This one at the back here looks rather large, and it might be a forced perspective thing, but it does look big in comparison. And this one here to the left definitely looks a bit smaller. So I think potentially we've got some kind of like dwarf hunter, and God knows what this one's going to be. But it looks interesting. Now, when I said on the live stream that's exactly what I thought it would be, I was all over that. That's exactly what I wanted. And when I saw this announced on Saturday, it was just like, right, this is a day one purchase for me. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I absolutely love Silver Tower. The amount of miniatures that you got in there and the quality of the sculpts was fantastic. I didn't pick up Blackstone Fortress, so I can't compare it. But it's everybody that talks about Blackstone Fortress absolutely loved it. And I think everything about this, it's the fact that the setting isn't just your standard kind of AOS setting. It's not your standard Stormcast Eternals. It's not your chaos type stuff. It's much more kind of good and evil set within that universe. And it's saying here, with revised and refined rule system and models you'll never dreamed of, we're going to stick our necks out, not usually a good idea, in Ulfenkarn, and say that a new Warhammer Quest might just be the best game in a box that the fine folks at Warhammer Studios have ever made. And yes, so they've basically teased us with two models. This first one here is Yeltsin Daruk, who is a vampire hunter, and the model is absolutely beautiful. The quality of the paint job really sets it off. It's got a very kind of Mordheim type feel to it. If anybody's played what's the video games called? My mind's gone blank now. You know the video games, which is a bit like Left 4 Dead. If anybody's played those games, there's a character in there that's a little bit like this as well. But it's a beautiful sculpt, really, really atmospheric. Love the paint job that they've done on it. Love the fact that he's kind of got weapons coming out of his ears. He's got this rifle here with like a stake shooter on it as well. He's got stakes down here. He's got his hammer. He's got a sword through the front. He's got a sword across the back. He's got a bag full of stuff here. I even just love the way the sword is just kind of tucked in between the buckles there as well. Really nicely done. And then on the kind of the evil side of things, we've also got the villainous Gorslav, the Gravekeeper. And again, I think it's just a bit different to the AOS aesthetic. It still fits in the AOS universe, but it's got those kind of feels of a little bit of Hellraiser in there. It's got a feel of a little bit of Silent Hill kind of evil in there. It takes it up a notch for me. In the same way I think things like the Unmade Warband did for Warcry, this is kind of taking it on to a bit of a next level as well, and I really like the aesthetic that they're going with. You can go to, there's a website that's up now for Cursed City, and this is the map I was talking about. So Here are the Agents of Defiance. These are the different characters that haven't been shared yet. So there's a few different things here that we will get to see at some point. And then obviously we've got Yeltsin Daruk here, and there's a little bit of a backstory about him, about a one-man death squad with a merciless streak a mile wide. Was once part of the Order of Azir, a well-known and fearsome hunter of witches, ethergeists, and cultists of the dark gods. Though his conduct saw him expelled, the exact reason remains a guarded secret. So I love the backstory for him. And then we've got the Overlords of Ulfheim, who are obviously the kind of the bad guys. And again, there's a number of ones that haven't been shared yet, and they'll be revealed over time. And we've got Gorslav, the Gravekeeper here. This gaunt and towering creature tends the crypts and carnal pits of the Ulfheim corpse gardens. Silently, he toils away in his unhallowed domain, ignoring the screaming terror of his victims as he buries them alive beneath mounds of cold grave soil. I love the kind of the horror and the horror story in this. It's something you don't really get in miniature games because it's hard. Like horror films and horror stories are about suspense, and it's about the things that don't happen and the noises that kind of are distracting. So you tend not to get like horror translating really well across. But I love the theme of this, I really do. So then there's this map basically, which is the Cursed City. And this is where I was saying here, some of them are blanked out at the minute. They're actually shaded down, and some of the shields are on the sides here. So we can't really tell exactly what they are or basically or how these fit in. I'm assuming this guy is obviously the grave guy that we've just been talking about. These are potentially maybe hero models or something. But we've got here, which is Hangman's Copse, which is the bat-infested site of a former Sylvaneth embassy, which makes me think that kind of horned one in the picture might be a Sylvaneth model. We've then got the Ven Alton Skydocks. These Skydocks used to be the centre of imports, exports and trade relations. We've got the Corpse Gardens, which is where Gorslav, the Gravekeeper, oversees. We've got the Shadow Crypt Halls. Haunting music and screams echo from within the walls. We've got the Clot, which sounds awful. This canal is now clogged by dried gore and is home to many carrion horrors. And then we've got Geistgale, which is no one dares to venture near this gate except the spectral dead. Now, if I was a guessing man, and I've already put my neck on the block and kind of made some predictions with this game, it wouldn't surprise me if those hidden parts are potentially future expansions in the same way we saw for Blackstone Fortress. And the story might progress on a journey sort of like through to whatever this kind of citadel castle is in the middle. That would be awesome to kind of have that progressing story coming through this. And I am really excited for this for a number of reasons. I'm excited for it because it's not your standard AOS. It's much more based upon things like Silver Tower and based upon Blackstone Fortress. It's a much more of a narrative adventure. You can play those games co-op, which means that you can play them solo technically. So if I can play this solo while we're locked down, then I even like that's like an extra tick in the box of why I would buy this. And of course, the miniatures they're a completely different aesthetic. They just look like they'll be a joy to paint. Today there was a little bit more of an update as well, where it was basically on Warhammer community site telling us a little bit more about Yeltsin Daruk, about hunting witches and ethergeist and stuff, the stuff that we read before. And again, just another picture of his model there as well. Bit more about his tools of the trade. He said he's armed with the Ardent Blade. He carries a long-barreled rifle, which he dubbed Juggernaut. Dubbed Judgment, I should say. And with deadly accuracy, he fires sanctified mort silver bullets that punch through armour, flesh and bone with ease. He also carries stakes carved from Akshayan firewood that burst into flames when they pierce the flesh of the undead. I love the sound of that. But yeah, the model, I think they've done a great job on the paint job. There's been a few paint jobs from GW recently which haven't been to the kind of standard that you expect from GW. Still nicely painted and still well out of my league. But I think this one particularly, I just love like the cracked leather and stuff and the wood on the stakes. They've done a great job of this one. It says, having arrived at Ulfheim, he's determined to sweep it clean of the taint of the undead, but he can't do it without help. We'll be taking a look at some of his vampire hunting buddies as we get closer to the release of Warhammer Quest Cursed City. So, when we start to talk about it, when can we expect to see it? It wouldn't surprise me if we see this kind of around March time. I think there's a lot of stuff that they can be starting to talk about. If it's earlier than that, I'd be all over it. It wouldn't surprise me if this is maybe the Easter weekend release. You know that sometimes they release stuff on a Friday at certain points of the year. It wouldn't surprise me if this was the Easter release, so it might even be kind of back towards April time. But all I can say is this is exactly the kind of game. I don't always get excited for the GW stuff. For all the quality is always fantastic. For all the rules are always kind of, people enjoy playing them. You'll always get players and stuff. I find a lot of stuff is just like, oh yeah, it's really nice. It looks great. They'll be nice to paint. I don't necessarily want to play it. This one is right up my street. It's exactly what I'm looking forward to. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if this is something that's a day one purchase for you. We haven't even touched upon the fact that this is probably going to be another one of those kind of mad kind of pre-orders where everybody's trying to sit at the computer at 10 o'clock in the morning trying to press buy, and the scalpers getting hold of them. No doubt we'll be talking about this in weeks to come when that kind of happens. But yeah, let me know what you think. This is a day one purchase for you. Is it something you're not really interested in? Let me know what you think. So folks, that is what I think of that. Let's see what you're all saying. I'm sure that I'm never going to be able to go back and catch up with all of this kind of stuff. Carla's saying there, those two sculpts alone sold the whole game to me. Yeah, they just set the theme, they set the tone for it. And Neil Pilot is saying the Witch Hunter reminds me of a Bloodborne a bit. Yeah, I get that feeling as well, mate. Bobby's saying Sublime Sculpts, can't wait to paint them. I can't wait to see what you do with them, mate, I'll be honest. Marcus is saying Victorian horror style is awesome. It's definitely got that kind of Van Helsing kind of feel about it. I love the fact it's in this kind of like cursed city. The fact that it's kind of wolfen, it makes me assume, or Ulfen, which is basically wolfen kind of, I think it's like a Norse or kind of like Nordic regions. It makes me think we're going to sort of see that the main boss might be some kind of like werewolf type thing. It just looks awesome. Andrew's saying the 4 empty shields correspond to each of the 4 dudes around the map. They do, mate. Yeah, you can actually see if you look closely at the map, you can see that their shield or some of the shields are kind of, they're shaded out as opposed to black completely. You can kind of see them. Peter's saying Skyport sounds like a Caradhran Overlord's character. That would kind of line up with the dwarf character that we seem to see on that kind of red artwork type thing. Ant Lavin is saying, do you think the new female vampire with the bats in her hair will be in this box? It wasn't part of the Underworld's warband. Quite potentially, mate. I must admit, I haven't even noticed it wasn't in the Warhammer Underworld's box. Quite possibly in that case, mate. Although, to be fair, I think there's a lot of stuff coming out for AOS when it comes to, what's it called? I forget what the new range is called now. Brandon's saying that the Caradhran Overlord guy is in the trailer. Yeah, potentially I might have missed that, mate. Phil Campbell saying the grey shields match the characters shown below the map. I think actually, mate, it says that I think they're mini bosses like the Grave guy. I think, to be honest, mate, if I can go back to the mini map thing. So let me. So yes. This one, isn't it? Yeah. So this one here, which is the one we know about, which is the Grave God guy, or whatever he's called, that's his shield here. This one here, I think, is, if I can see, it's in the top right-hand corner there. This one here with the stripe across is in the middle, and this one here is there. We haven't seen what this one is here, which looks a little bit like a kind of like a ram's head type thing, like some kind of beast type head, which is the... Oh, it doesn't tell you any information on these ones. But yeah, so those 3 are basically those 3 around here. There's a vampire bat here as well, which gives us a feeling that there's some kind of like vampire type stuff. This one definitely looks some kind of almost like Count Dracula type thing. But yeah, no doubt we'll find out more about it at some point. Let me scroll that one back down again. Tony's saying this one did catch my eye and I'm a non-gamer. I like to look at this. I think, to be honest, if it's something I can play solo as well, this gives me like loads of kind of scope for just having something to enjoy painting the individual models. You're not going to get like sort of like 10-man squads of stuff to have to paint up. It'll all be individual different sculpts. That kind of interests me. And I really enjoyed Silver Tower. I loved Silver Tower. And if this is half as good as that, it'll be worth the price. Cost wise, worries me, I'll be honest. Silver Tower was about £95 when it came out years ago. I think Blackstone Fortress was over 100. This could be another one of those games that creeps up to like 130 quid, something like that, which is I'm a bit nervous about. But everybody kind of has the opportunity to buy them from local gaming stores with discounts, or buy them online with discounts as well. You don't have to buy them from GW. Although I am also worried about that kind of pre-order chaos that we always see. Anil saying there, like the aged leather, it's amazing. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? James is saying, do you think this game and the Vampire Lord stuff was originally supposed to be released in October but had a COVID delay? I don't think so, mate, if I'm honest. The amount of stuff, there wasn't a huge delay last year. I mean, things like the Death Guards got pushed back because that's delayed, but they actually came out and said that. I think obviously back in the summer, would this have maybe been a November release or like an October release with like Halloween and stuff would have made sense. There's normally like a new release around November, but we did get Catacombs back then as well. I think there's been a slip in stuff, mate, but I'm not sure it's a million miles out from where it is. Carlisle still looking for the perfect dungeon crawler. Didn't like Gloomhaven either. Hard to replace actually playing D&D. I can imagine that. And Neil says, I kind of wish they sold it separately. Yeah, they've never... I mean, I think with some of the Silver Tower stuff was models that was already available elsewhere, but there was a lot of stuff in there. If I remember right, was it all... I think it might have always been available. It'll be different what they do with this. Like, they never made the Rogue Trader stuff available separately. So it does make me wonder what they'll do with this. But yeah, day one for me, I think. Let's just scrolled off a little bit. Yeah, Phil Campbell saying day one for him. Charles is saying, I'm sure I used to work there, the clot. Krabby said, I quite fancy this, to be honest. Models are nice and I can play it myself. Not a lot to like. Yeah, that's where my head is as well, mate. Root user says, chill, it will be available for months. Do you know what? I hope it is, but with their current production schedules, the way they're doing stuff at the minute, I don't want to. I don't want to say it will. My good feeling is this is going to prove to be really, really popular. I hope it becomes a box set that they replace and they keep making, and everybody who wants one gets the chance to. But I can imagine it's going to be a bit of a mad dash on day one. Even if it is available for months, I still think it'll be a mad dash on day one. And what that does is it drives up the sales anyway, and all the scalpers come in and all that kind of stuff. Like if you remember right, Blackstone Fortress sold out. You couldn't actually buy the original box. It didn't come back for sale until quite recently, actually, by which point you couldn't buy any of the expansions. And that's where this becomes messy, when you start having expansions for it that sell out really quickly and they don't remake. David saying, I'm definitely considering this Warhammer Quest, haven't bought any yet. Christian saying, I have to go to sleep, guys, rest tomorrow. Andy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, my friend. Christian saying, definitely all over this. Love vampires. Yeah, it's horror stuff's right up my street, mate. Different Gear TV says you should get Blackstone first. I don't think you can get it anymore, mate. That's the problem. I don't want to go and buy it and then not be able to get any of the expansions if I enjoy it, really. So I'd rather just give it a miss now and wait for this. Andy saying it looks good. Simon Dave saying I hope they make made to order. I don't think they will make to order, mate. They tend not to with their games. I think the Indomitors thing, they just absolutely blew up and kind of caught them off guard. I think hopefully they just keep going back and making more and it becomes like a standard item, but their manufacturing capability at the minute is all over the place because of certain restrictions and not being able to make things out in China and stuff. So it always worries me about this kind of stuff. I mean, Blood Bowl, I think, has been pretty well stocked, I think. But we see loads of other stuff selling out. Christian said, I do like the Vampire Hunter, but don't think I'll pick. Scott saying sculpts look epic. Game on. Ed says it actually looks more like the old world than the usual superhero nonsense. That's what I was trying to think of, mate. The game I was trying to think of before was Vermintide 2. I play the Vermintide 2 games on PC and stuff, and I like that kind of almost like characterful. I mean, it is all world based, but it's that kind of like 4 characters going off on a mission, and that's why this is kind of right up my street. This is what it reminds me of, heading off to kind of to face the vampires. Blizzard saying I might be interested in this new Warhammer Quest. I have to see what comes in the box and price point. I think that's key, mate, as well. And don't get me wrong, if this is too expensive, no matter how much I love it, I'm not going to be able to afford to buy it, so let's not worry about that one. But if it's not that expensive, but it's not value for money either, potentially that might also be a barrier. But based upon what came in the box for Blackstone Fortress, what came in the box for Silver Tower, and the price point versus value percentage thing, I'd be all over this one. Christian saying, night guys, good night Christian, thanks for coming in. George is saying, far too many Kickstarters yet to arrive. Yeah, I haven't backed any Kickstarters, mate. I've given up on the Kickstarter train. Eon910 saying he played Witch Hunter in the Warhammer MMO years ago. Curse City's ticking all the boxes. Adam saying, great idea, the setting, would love to see other models. I can't wait to see what else is kind of in there, mate. Krabby says the characters in Blackstone didn't really do it for me. They didn't for me originally, mate, which is why I kind of didn't pick it up initially. The fact that everybody tells me what a good game it is, and I'll, if I remember right as well, when I watched the playthrough video that GW did, the gameplay didn't really interest me either, and that was why I basically give it a miss. But I've heard everybody telling me about how good it is, and it's something I'd love to play, but I don't have the urge to go back and start searching for all the expansions and stuff now. Ariel is saying really interested in this. Pomsy saying nice minis, prime them, agrax them. That's all you got to do, mate. Base coat and wash. Christian sharing the link for Amazon. Thank you very much, Christian. Mark saying it's going to be his big hobby purchase this year. Yeah, I've not really kind of spent anything on hobby stuff much this year. I'm trying to think what I've bought so far. I don't think I've bought anything actually yet. My Malifaux stuff was the last things I bought. VJ saying bat hair was a blister pack. It must be an AOS thing, I think, mate. Charles is saying, I hate those AOS sculpts, so I really hope this will be a totally different style. Yeah, I mean, based upon what we've seen, mate, it's based in the AOS universe, but it looks different enough. It's not like the kind of... It's not those army sculpts. It's individual characters off to do a bit of a mission thing, and that's what really intrigues me in this one. Brandon saying the Bat Hair Vampire was a blister pack. It's part of the full release. Marcus is going to have to start saving money. James is saying there's a leak box. That's right, mate, yeah. Champion for Soul Blight. Soul Blight, that was the word I was trying to remember before. Carla saying, how long till a release? I'm not sure, Carla. If I was a kind of a betting man, it wouldn't surprise me if, with all of the kind of the delays and the restrictions and everything else that's going on, it wouldn't surprise me if this was like an Easter weekend release and it came out on the Good Friday or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, we'll see. Brandon says they didn't say when was which month Blackstone released. I think, to be honest, mate, I think it's all over the shop with like people talk about delays and stuff like that. I don't think we'll be able to like match it up the same way. But I seem to remember Blackstone Fortress might have been November time. James says I was just talking myself into buying Warcry. Now this new quest is released, can only buy one. GW, why do you do this to us? Corvus Corax says, hello everybody, not going to stay long, just want to send good vibes. Thank you very much, mate. Dice Teal saying, missed out on Silver Tower, but fond memories of 90s Warhammer Quest. I bought Silver Tower second hand, mate. I bought it off a friend at a gaming club. It came with all of the stuff that was in the original box, and it came with some extra heroes as well. So yeah, it's awesome. And a lot of those Silver Tower minis can be used as mercenaries as well in Warcry, so it turned out to be great value. I'll just dive in here because it's just skipped up there. Rumoured to be arriving 3 months from now. That would kind of line up with the Easter weekend made for me then. Spiderlord saying everything they show will be released within 3 months. Brandon saying Warcry rules you could basically condense to 4 pages. You just need the faction abilities. Use the Warhammer Quest to play. Yeah, you probably could actually, mate. That's not a bad shout. David says he's off to pick up his kid from school. Thank you, mate. James is saying Blackstone Fortress had loads of unique models. Not being able to face the 14 boring traitor guardsmen. I never liked them either. And there was one expansion that did it basically have a load of just plague bearers in. Not plague bearers, pox walkers, I think. And I was thinking, yeah, the last thing I need would be another box of those things. Simon Dave's heading off as well. Thank you very much. John saying it looks great, but I don't fancy it. Maybe I'm a control freak, but I don't fancy having just one model. I like the power of being a general of all armies. If you're into the army games, mate, yeah, this is almost that board game kind of. It's getting more into the board game side of things, because basically the expansions will expand the game as opposed to adding extra kind of like different teams, if you like. So I think this is one for kind of the board game type crowd, but it'll sell like hotcakes like they always do. Phil saying, hopefully get new zombies and ghouls and horror minions. It wouldn't surprise me, mate, if that's part of the sculpt range. Warwick saying he missed Blackstone of its expansions. The Amble's so expensive now, yeah. Razor X, I missed the Necron Battle Force boxes, sold out too fast. Yeah, those are the kind of things I expect to kind of see coming back, but they didn't. The Christmas ones, I think we're talking about there, are we? Lord Maiden saying, I thought of Vermintide, but more horror and less rats. Yeah, exactly. I'd love it if this Cursed City then became like sort of like a sort of a video game as well in the future. Ed says you really need to get your D&D GM to run some Warhammer 4th edition. I've played one game of D&D, mate. I don't have a regular D&D group. I've only ever played it once. ER910 says even if GW website sells out, check your local gaming stores. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that tends to be what happens as well. Everybody panics on day one, but if you shop around, there's a load of kind of local gaming stores that don't have online representation, don't have huge player bases locally and stuff. You can tend to pick these things up. So yeah, I'm not going to panic, but I'd be disappointed if I miss out and then I can't get it at all. I'd be gutted because this is the one thing I think I've been really interested in quite some time. Charles is saying I'll buy if the price ain't more than like 90 to 110 if it has the value. Yeah, I'm kind of, my gut tells me about 125 if I'm honest, and I think that's based upon the number of minis that you'll get in the box and the fact that their prices are creeping up gradually. I think talking of prices creeping up, for example, the new Warhammer Underworld boxes are they like 30 quid now, 35 quid, and they were about 17 when Season 1 came out, so they've definitely crept up. Austin Thornhill says, Cursey is a day one buy for me. I'm hoping to use the minis in other games as well. ASDF, thank you very much, mate. He just said there's 10 quid for the Cursed City funds. That's it, it's come down by 10 quid already. Thank you very much, mate. Sunday Sykes says, if this is my first time watching your channel, a friend recommended you, really enjoying the content so far. Thank you very much. I don't know who your friend is, but please thank them for me. And thanks for coming in. Right, what I'm going to do now is then, let's go and watch, have a look at the last of the, who was that one? That was Mark Corley. We'll have a look at the last of the Ace of Base, and then we'll do the Ace of Base draw and see who the winner is. So, that's it. So, we start with Ortega. So Ortega been doing a bit of Mantic stuff here. This is the Northern Alliance. Looks like he's been doing a little bit of snow base and then some rocks and stuff there. Love the blood on the mouth is there as well. Lovely model that. Really nice work there. Ortega in the rerun there, mate. I hope you're nice to see your models on the stream. Pat's in it. Pat, I don't think I've actually seen any of your painting before, mate, randomly. And I was kind of like, when I saw this, it's like, he's a bit of a secret painter, this one, isn't he? Nice work, mate. Love the model. Love what you've done with it. But the basing as well just looks really nice. I love that kind of, the gem there at the back. I need to pick up some of these sort of flower stuff myself as well. It really does set the basing off. But yeah, you've done a cracking job there, mate. That shows it a little bit more detail as well. Really nice work. Love those gems across the back, mate. They're painted to perfection. Brilliant work. We've then got Patrick as well, who's been doing some basing here as well. This is all scratch built. But yeah, really, really nice, mate. Love the way they integrated the skulls there, the blood splatter. Blood splatter is one of them things that you can get massively wrong by just going overboard with it. It's definitely one of those less is more type things. There's a difference between you've stabbed somebody and there's been like a scene from Blade. Yeah, really nice work on that one, Patrick. Peter Koeman. Been doing, I've got no idea what these are for. I'm sure he's going to tell me, but really nicely done, mate. I love those kind of like straw kind of bush things coming out. I love the little dice holder on the back of the base as well, mate. Nicely done, mate. And I think there's another shot from the other angle as well. Awesome work. Thank you very much. And nice to see a mix of models as well. What I would say is we like, it hasn't been like sort of full of Space Marines. It's not been full of GW models. We've seen a real mix of stuff, and that's what I like about this community. You always see a mix of stuff. Peter's been kind of doing some stuff here as well, really pushing the boat out. Nice to see, mate, with these blood angels. Love these kind of like snake tentacle things, whatever they are, coming out the base. Nice work, fella. I think there's another picture there as well. Let's see from a different angle. Nice work, mate. Really nicely done. And we've got Mr. Stockdale. Again, been doing a bit of water basing as well. Water seems quite a popular thing at the moment. I love the way this is kind of formed up as well, how it looks like it's kind of bubbling up as it's coming out of the water. Love the clear resin on there as well, setting that off. Nicely done, Mr. Stockdale. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of forming up, and it's creating movement. Really does look good. And then, who have we got? We've got a few more. Mr. Rob Brown with his Necrons. This, I think, is the colour shift paint, if I remember right. which is really really nicely done, and this luminous stuff as well. But the basing looks awesome too. He's really kind of gone to work on that base. So thanks, Rob. Thanks for submitting that and taking part in the challenge. We've also got Mr. Robert Zunk. I'm not sure if he's still around or not, but Robert did something different again, Gasland stuff here, and kind of created a bit of a mini diorama for his Gasland stuff. I love, and I noticed this when I was looking at it today. I didn't actually at first notice the people in it as well, but somebody's unfortunately met their untimely death here as well. And this one looks like it's kind of been a bit grown over and stuff. Really nice work, Rob. And that's it from the other angle as well. Really nice work, fella. And then we have Scotty Longworth, who's been doing his Vikings. Nice, mate. I think these are all 3D printed models that he's done himself as well. But love the snow basing on these, mate. Really does set them off. Again, love these little plant things. I definitely have to pick some of those up. They really do. They kind of ground them in a bit of reality. They just look great. Nice models as well, mate. Like I said before, I think they're all 3D printed that you've been doing. You 3D printed yourself. So nice stuff, fella. And last but not least, Mr. Howell, who submitted 2 different ones. So this one, I think this could be a Warcaster model, I think. But I love what you've done with the basing, mate, with the kind of like the cogs and stuff on there, and the platform above. Looks really, really good. Love the model as well. You've done a cracking job on the model, mate. And then Mr. Ears, which is a Lost World Exodus model from War Cradle. Before we get onto the base, I love the lenses on the glasses here. They look really, really good, mate. You've done a cracking job with them. But the base is superb as well. The best bit is in our Patreon group, it was obviously posting some kind of work in progress shots, and seeing this all coming together and seeing it. I think he even had a little a breakage at one point and he had to repair it. But yeah, I'm not even going to tell you what it is because you can't see it anyway. So, but yeah, nice work, Tony. So everybody, that was the 35 people that took part in that. What we have now is a number picker here. So I will put, let me just double check the numbers. Here is everybody's name that I've shown tonight. If I haven't shown your work, I apologise, but you didn't email it to me. The competition said you have to email it to me. It's easy for me rather than looking all over social media to try and get stuff. So the 35 people's names in the list are the 35 people that emailed me their pictures. So if you didn't get a picture to me, I apologise. Next, there'll be a new challenge starting in February as well, so better luck next time. But we've got 35 people, so we will put it to 35 there as well. There was basically, let me just very quickly, actually before we start that, let me just quickly have a look in the chat and see if there's anything I need to see before we crack on. People seeing those eyes, yeah, amazing pictures, amazeballs, Tony. Yes, Wheel of Morality, turn. Yes, right. So I'll come back to this now. So yeah, 1 to 35, whichever number comes up, we'll then consult that list, and that person will be the random winner. And I'll send them something small. Because of the way the postage is at the minute with all the Brexit stuff and that, I'll probably send you a BlackJack Legacy mug, a special kind of one-of-a-kind BlackJack Legacy mug, because that way I can send them anywhere in the world, and they're produced from their local hub, if you like. So I know that I'm not going to have all of the kind of all of the Brexit stuff to worry about. So we'll pick a winner, and we'll see who that is. And as I've said before, the challenges that I do, please take part in them, folks. It's not about who's the best. It's not about who's the fastest. It's not about who does the most. It's about, I set a challenge. If you achieve it, you go into a random draw kind of thing. And it's just a nice little way to motivate people to paint stuff when painting's maybe a bit like, you might be thinking, well, what's the point? Well, the point is you've got a little challenge ahead of you. So let's spin the wheel and let's see what comes up. So 1 to 35. Who's it going to be? I'm going to have a quick drink while that's spinning. And we've got number 2. Let's have a look and see who's on the list. Number 2, Adam Edgar, our Australian brethren. Thank you very much, Adam. I will be in touch with you, mate. You are the winner of the first of 2021's BlackJack Legacy Challenges. So thank you very much, mate. Awesome. Let's go back to the main screen now. And I can see the chat again. Everyone's saying, drum roll, please. Nice one, Adam. Well done, Adam. Congrats, Adam. Nice one. I don't know if it sometimes pops in at this time because it's a little bit later in Australia. But if he's not around, I'm sure. The COVID mug winner, yes. No, I have to say congrats to every single person who took part. Congrats to those that sort of never managed to make the deadline either as well. I know a few of you were quite close. The plan is I will tell you another challenge that we'll kick off in February. You'll have 28 days, the 28 days of February. We'll keep it relatively straightforward, a bit like a basin challenge. It's not about painting a number of stuff. It might be something along the lines of paint it with X theme, or it might be paint it using only 3 colours, or it might be make red your main colour. Paint a model and make red your main colour. It could be something as simple as that, mate. Tony saying, yeah, well done, Adam. You deserve a bit of an uplift, mate. He certainly does. He got made redundant last year with everything else that's going on, and he's only just this week started his new job, and he's been absolutely wiped out as well, being back at work. So yes, awesome to see him winning that as well. Jim saying, we're here, nice, Adam. Bet Andy is glad the prize wasn't a cake by the time it gets to Oz. That's why sending a mug is a bit easier, mate, than trying to send other stuff as well. And he says, an Aussie wins on Australia Day. Is it Australia Day? I did not know that. And Phil Campbell says, BlackJack beard grooming challenge. When COVID allows, you all have to come round and try and shape my beard into like a topiary thing. Nice one. Charles says, February 21 paint challenge, a 5,000 point 40k army. It's never about volume of stuff. Marcus says, that is great. Awesome. So, how are we doing for time? I managed to catch up. I managed to crank all that out. A couple of things. Well, let's have a little chat then. Let's have a bit of chat about other things. So, just arrived on Saturday was this starter set for Hunt for the Prometheus, which is the new Dystopian Wars starter set from War Cradle. It looks absolutely awesome. Loads of stuff inside it. So I'm going to be looking at that over the... Well, obviously I've got the little one at home with me now, so I won't have the time I thought I did. But I'm going to be looking into this one. What I would say is the quality of quality of packaging shouldn't really make a difference. But I tell you what, I'm impressed with the quality of the War Cradle packaging with these nice foil embossed War Cradle Studios logos on. And if I open it up, there is an absolute ton of plastic in this thing. Now the downside of it is, because I've got it early to take a look at and make a bit of a review and stuff like that, I've been reading the rule book. The rules seem pretty cool. There's no stat cards inside the box, and there's no building instructions inside the box. They've basically got a website where you can download them from, so that if they update them, you always get the latest stuff. The problem is the website's not live yet, so I don't know how to build the ships and build them with the right weapons on and stuff. And I don't know what the stats are to try and look to see kind of like how, there's an example stat card in the rule book, but I can't compare ships next to each other because I got no idea what the stats are. So I'll have to contact War Cradle and see if they can send me a PDF or something. Otherwise, I can't really do a review of it because I can't play it, I can't try it, I can't even build the models at the minute. So yes, we'll see how that goes. And Lord Smith says, we'll hold you to that beard thing. John saying, paint a mini with a beard. That might not be a bad shout. And if it hasn't got a beard, green stuff it went on. Marcus is saying, I would have to go and find a dwarf. You're trying to suggest I'm not very tall, mate. Tasty Brain Trace says, show your little I know. I didn't even know there was an Australia Day. I knew there was an Australia Day, but I have no idea when it was. Hanley saying that was very smart looking. Yeah, it's a nice box, mate. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's about... Is it about 80 quid, something like that? I could be completely guessing. But the quality of the plastics, in fact, let me just very quickly show you some of them. There's a mixture of some plastic and some resin in there. I'll just pop one up to the camera so you can have a look at it. But the plastics are nice crisp. If I can, they're nice and crisp, it's kind of GW quality sort of sprues. It's not the kind of not the harder plastic that you sometimes get, but so there's some nice stuff in there. There is, let me just put these over here so I don't wreck stuff. There's things like movement templates and stuff like that basically need to be clipped out. So there's some stuff there for movement. And then if I can lift some of this stuff out, there's some of the bigger ships are resin stuff as well. So these are. That's it. These are some of the bigger ships as well. But again, like some of the weapons, I think some of the weapons are on the plastic sprues for some of these resin ships, and I've got no idea how they're supposed to go together or how to set them up. There's loads of custom dice in the box as well. These custom dice, and then there's also the cards as well. If you're familiar with Wild West Exodus, with the Guts and Glory, these ones have Victory and Valor on it, and working it in a similar way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a look at that. Let's have a look. Where were we at? Very smart looking, yeah. Vicious been looking into some new kid games for him. I'm going to get my first Castle Panic and Rhino Hero. Rhino Hero's great, mate. I love Rhino Hero. Dave Mackay says, good luck with those. I predict you'll glue yourself at least 3 ships. There'll be plastic stuff, mate, so I'm alright with plastic glue. They're not small or anything like that. It's just, and I can kind of guess how they go together, but I've got no idea on what weapons I'm supposed to put on them and stuff. Sculpt a beard on an elf with green stuff. Are you trying to suggest that I'm slim? I am not slim. I'm taller than a dwarf and fatter than an elf. I'm either a fat elf or a tall dwarf, one of the two. Yeah, Tony's saying there as well. Right, Rhino Hero is awesome. Charles Green says, I need to stop watching your channel because your Mantic Armada video, I went and bought the starter set. I like Armada, I'll be honest. So when they asked me if I wanted to take a look at this, I'm keen to take a look at it to see how it compares gameplay wise. First kind of glance of reading the rules is it feels a little bit more complex than Armada. Doesn't make it a bad thing, but I need to push stuff around the table and see how it works in general. There's a lot more stats involved, and there's things like, I think if I'm remembering it rightly, when you do damage, you need to do a certain amount of damage over its, I don't think it might be its hull point or something like that. And then if you beat it, you do 1 point of damage. If you double it, you do 2 points of damage. So there's a bit more kind of maths kind of calculations in this. It's not a case of like, I've rolled 5 hits, I do 5 damage kind of thing. And then there's a point where once you beat its, once you've done enough damage to its weight, I think it is, you flip the card over and it becomes kind of damaged, and then its stats change again, but then you still got to keep damaging it again. So there's a bit more kind of, it's a bit more detailed, but it seems simple enough. It's just I want to push some ships around and understand it. Obviously, you get quite a lot of ships in the box. If you get, let me take a quick look. You basically get, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 16 for one of the sets. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for the other one. So one is the Enlightened and one is the Commonwealth. I'm not sure at this point in time which one is which. But so there's quite a few ships compared to what you would get like in Armada. And it plays on a smaller size as well. It plays on like a 3x3 or a 4x4. So it'll be interesting on a 3x3 with the starter set. It'll be interesting to understand how is movement a lot easier where you don't just end up crashing into each other, because each ship still has a drift value. So I think it moves like, I think it drifts equal to its weight. So if it's a weight 1, it drifts 1 inch. If it's weight 2, it drifts 2 inch kind of thing. So there is a forward momentum all the time. So yeah, it'll be interesting anyway. Adam Jackson says, looks dead in the water then. Lord Maiden says, the beard challenge looks to the right, sees Papa Grimples. Margot says, just finished work, what did I miss? You've missed everything, mate. We showed off your Ace of Base mini. Unfortunately, you didn't win the challenge giveaway. That was Mr. Adam Edgar. He was our winner. And we've been talking about Cursed City. We've been talking about Kill Team Pariah Nexus. We've been showing off everybody's stuff. It's been an action-packed night tonight, mate. VJ says, someone needs to green stuff a beard onto a Marathi and paint it. Somebody with more money than sense, mate. George is saying, gotta go, thanks Andy, night all. Thank you very much, George. Kath says, we're building a Malifaux collection thanks to this channel. Watching definitely leads to wanting more shiny things. Well, you haven't picked a bad game there, to be fair. My Malifaux stuff is growing as well, and I'm enjoying painting it at the minute. And like I say, in fact, let me show you. Here's a sneak peek for you folks on the live stream. This is the building. Oop, my cushion falling down there. This is the building I've been painting up. It's kind of halfway done yet. It's not quite finished. so it's a bit bright at the minute. But this is the Wild West Exodus scenic range, the terrain. The roof comes off as well, so you can kind of take that off. But I've been doing a kind of a step-by-step thing on how I paint these buildings up. And the idea being that I'm not sure I'll do it as like a painting tutorial, but it'll be about, so this is using contrast paints, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of doing it. It's obviously not the metallics, they're not contrast paints, but it's about kind of, I primed it using my 30 quid airbrush because it was snowing outside. I couldn't get out there and put a primer on it outdoors. So I've used the cheap airbrush to kind of get it like sort of zenithal primed and stuff, and I've used contrast paints to paint it. It needs kind of darkening down a little bit. The silvers need to be less bright. Some of the woodwork needs to be a bit less bright. But I'm basically painting this to use alongside. Let me grab the other one. You might have saw this one in my Malifaux pictures that I've been taking of my models. So this is another one that I've painted as well, doing the same method. So you can see at the minute, try not to knock everything over. You can see how that one's a bit brighter at the minute, but it will darken down. Come on, focus. It'll darken down to be more like that one. So these are the buildings that I've been painting up and be used in my Malifaux kind of how to play video. So yeah, there's loads of stuff going on in the background. It's just you never get to see all of this kind of stuff usually. Marcus is saying, I think in Discworld there was a pygmy giant. Alder Von Wells is heading off now. Thanks for good morning. Good morning to you, mate. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Enjoy Australia Day. Mark was saying, thanks for the quick summary. I will watch it in replay next time. Don't burn the candle both sides. Nice one, mate. Adam Jackson says, nice building. I've done a review of this War Cradle terrain. I think it's absolutely fantastic. There's just some MDF terrain is really flat looking and it looks like a box. This stuff's got like, I don't know if you can kind of see on the side there, but things are like, if I can get it, so things like the barrel on the side of the building and those clocks and like the bits of cabling and stuff like that, the bits of signage on the roof and these little kind of like metal repairs and stuff, the window frames with the, like they're a lot more 3D than your standard MDF terrain. The kits are super clean. They come pre-primed as well, so it doesn't soak up your paint as well when you're painting them. They're really, really nice quality. Where are we up to here? Ed Handley saying, time to call it a night. Thanks for the stream. Catch you later. Thanks for coming in, Ed. Really appreciate you joining in. Warwick Dottie says, I've been thinking about getting a cheap airbrush with its own small compressor just for basing models indoors. All Andy's fault. Honestly, mate, I mean, I've had an airbrush and a compressor for years, but I'm finding I'm using a little battery one for like little bits of odd jobs and stuff like that. And it's ideal for if you do like terrain and bits and pieces where you're wanting to get around a board, or maybe you build like a board or something out in the garage and you don't want to be transporting your airbrush around, or maybe you haven't got a dedicated room and you don't want to keep setting up an airbrush all the time. Those little portable ones, or the kind of the cheap £30 ones, although to be fair the price has kind of escalated since the video blew up. I think the video has had over like 250,000 or 240,000 views now or something. It's gone nuts. Tony saying, some lovely terrain paint, Andy. I'm quite enjoying it. It's just a nice change of pace, mate. Put some music on, put a podcast on, and I've basically been filming sections of me painting at each stage and stuff and showing them off to show you the process I go through. But this is essentially kind of primed a certain way using that cheap airbrush. You could use rattle cans, or you could do it by a brush as well, and then it's essentially what they call contrast paints, made using different shades of brown and skin tone contrast paints to make it look like kind of the wood's been sort of pulled from different places or aged differently. Charles Green says, ever thought about trying Mansions of Madness or Fallout Wasteland Warfare? Mansions of Madness is interesting to me, mate, but it's definitely more kind of board game type stuff. Fallout Wasteland Warfare, I'm not a huge Fallout fan, mate, if I'm honest. I mean, potentially, but it's never really grabbed me, if I'm honest. It's the same with the Elder Scrolls game as well. For all its solo, it felt, when I saw a kind of a playthrough of it, It just felt like there was a lot of custom dice involved. I could be completely wrong, but that's why the importance of gameplay videos sometimes is to kind of entice you in. Marco says these look amazing. Yeah, they honestly just like, they're lovely buildings. They look great, and as long as you kind of just not even take your time with them, just make them look less flat when you're painting them. Do you know what I mean? Adam says, love the different brown, very rich tonal values. Yeah, I think there's 3 different contrast paints I've used. Anne says, those buildings will look good in my Rangers of Shadow Deep campaign. They've got a really good setting for lots of places. So, I mean, they've got like, so for example, this building here has got like, there's like kind of cables and steampunk clocks and things on the side. Zoom in there. Because obviously it's Wild West Exodus, which has got like some weird kind of, like sort of alien power and stuff as well. But you could miss those bits off or paint them as something else, cover them up with like a piece of wood. These little bits that come on the roof, where kind of like they're like metallic patches that are covering up holes in the roof type thing. These are optional as well, but so you could use those. Let me just clip that back on again before it falls off. There we go. You could use those to cover up any of the kind of like the dials and stuff on the side if you wanted to. But yeah, there's got some nice little bits with them. Lord Mason, how about a no correction challenge? Let's see the happy little accidents. God, you wouldn't want to see my stuff painted, mate, when it's all about happy little accidents. Let me just check something there. Oh, just my wife said, I got a text from my wife there, and I was thinking, oh, something's up. She's just sending me decorating stuff. Peter saying, I like these buildings in your review. They look superb. Now, yeah, they're really coming together, mate. I promised I was going to do a kind of like a how to paint them. So I did the first one just to kind of to decide if I was happy with it. And then these are the ones I've been doing in the background as well. But it needs a wash on it now to kind of dirty it up a little bit, darken down some of the brightness of the browns, and a little bit of dry brushing on the roof. But it's almost finished. Then I can be able to get that video up. You can see how I painted it. And then because I've got the terrain painted, I can then do the Malifaux video. So yeah, all looking good. James says, actually Discworld has a human raised by dwarfs called Carrot Iron Founderson, known as Kazbat, which means headbanger, a logical name for a 6'6" man living in a mine built by 4 dwarves. Tim says, cheers Andy for a night early start, see you in Discord. Take care, mate. I'll chat you in Discord. Marcus is saying, wait, Duke Crackmarrow for Warhammer Underworld's Grimwatch box as a beard. There you go, mate. Mark saying, cheers Andy, great bases guys. He's off to bed as well, he's up at 5. Joachim saying, good night folks as well. Everyone's we've still got 90 people. I thought everybody just ran away there. VG says, speaking of Wild West Exodus terrain, did folks see the basin videos I linked on the Discord? Great basin ideas. I saw it flash up on my phone, mate, but I've not had a chance to go into Discord and check them today, but I will check them out. Thank you very much. Tony says, I'm a big fan of tonal variations in wood or brickwork buildings. It's lovely work. It just kind of breaks it up, mate. If I painted it all the same colour brown, it would look like a big, flat kind of wall. Just by randomly picking them out. So literally what I do is I'll pick the lightest shade of the brown I'm going to do and just work my way around the model and paint the odd plank. And then I'll pick the second tone and paint a few more. And then basically pick the third tone and go and paint in the rest. And it just, like, there's no rhyme or reason to it, really. That was how it was. Sunded Sykes says, with that portable airbrush, you said you could put another airbrush on the compressor if you had the fitting. What fittings are those? Do you know? 2 seconds, mate, and I will show you. So, what I found when I went back and checked, so there's the compressor, and there is my normal, kind of my cheap airbrush, if you like. The bit at the bottom that I've screwed off is the bit that's got the double action kind of valve in it. When I've screwed that off, I can now screw that back onto that cheap compressor bit. So that works with that airbrush on there as a single action airbrush. Now the other airbrush I've got hasn't got that same fitting on the bottom. So if you've got one of these kind of standard airbrushes that has a female thread on the bottom of there, it'll probably fit. Mine hasn't. Mine's got a male thread on the bottom, and then basically the airbrush connector. So that part basically is part of the airbrush with my more expensive one. Steve Evans saying, night all, night mate. Jason says, 2 dislikers tonight. Channel is growing. Because I talked about GW, mate. Wait until tomorrow when people have had a chance to watch the catch-up. All the dislikes will come in. James says, do we know how many models are in the Vamps Warhammer Underworlds box? I'm very tempted just to get them to paint. Let's let me bring it up on the screen for you, mate. Because I think I've got the information you need. If I can find it for you. So, here they are. Here's the model. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4, mate. Let's bring this video up and we'll skip forward. It should show you. Yeah, it looks like there's 4, mate. There is Aeneas Curseborn. There's Gorath the Enforcer. There is Prince Duval and Velis von Fane. It looks like that's it, mate. Just those 4. So some Warhammer Underworld ones have kind of like, I think, did the Stormcast one have 3 models in? I think it was the Sepulchral Guard, which was the skeletons, had like 7 in. I think they're normally somewhere between those 2. It looks like these ones are relatively powerful with their 4 models. Yeah, everyone's saying 4. Yep, nice, perfect. Christian says, gotta keep Blackjack Legacy's ego in check somewhere. What was this one about? See, I think Christian dislikes the stream just to spice things up. Anybody that dislikes the stream is still helping me. I think that's the whole point. Like, if somebody really didn't like the stream, I'm sure they wouldn't click the thumbs down button, really. Like I've watched videos I haven't enjoyed, but I haven't clicked the dislike button. If you click the dislike button, it means exactly the same as the like button, as far as YouTube are concerned. Yeah, everyone's saying 4 models. Yeah, Sundered Sykes says, that's awesome. So I should be able to throw one of my more decent airbrushes on. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't realise, because I don't normally use this one too much. I've got a what's it called, Harder and Steinbeck one, but the Harder and Steinbeck one won't fit to it. But I think as long as you've got like a female thread going into the bottom of your airbrush, you should be good to go, mate. VG says, very nice sculpts. I'll probably buy them. Cross my fingers. Gravelords get rules in Warcry. Yeah, who knows, mate. Tony says 20 to 25 quid for that box. I think it's more than that, mate, if I'm honest. I think it's more. I'm going to check how much they are, because I know where to get the prices from. So, but I can't show you that on the live stream, obviously. If I go to where I need to go to, actually, I think I downloaded them today. Let's have a quick look. Price list. So, Kargra's Ravagers, which is the new Warhammer Underworlds box, isn't it? Or is that what they're called? Let me have a quick look. Is that what they're called? No, they're called the Crimson Court, aren't they? Kargra's Ravagers are now 25 quid. So when they go up for pre-order at the weekend, they're 25 quid. So yeah, I'm assuming they'll be 25 quid too, mate. It seems to be the new price for the Warhammer Underworld stuff this year. Why do people dislike videos? I've never understood that. I'll add a like to the counter the dislike. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know why either way, but it's fine. I'm all right either way. War Mini Painting, hello there. Says, hi gang, just managed to sneak in. Nice to see you. Beaver's Beardman's in as well. Nice to see you. Everything's 1:30. This is up lad of the stream. German 3D printing nerd says, hi there, greetings from Germany. Guten Abend. No, that's not afternoon, is it? Hello. How are you doing, mate? Thanks for coming in. Peter says it's not a sneak if you announce it. Yes. Warwick saying Underworld's boxes so far have all been $30 US. Yeah, I think the original ones were like £17-18 in the UK. The original kind of first wave, the what was it called, Shadespire ones, and then I think they went up to about £20. And I think they've been gradually creeping up, but £25 now is a bit of a rise. VJ saying, ooh, Andy's secret squirrel. What can I say, mate? A wink is the same as a nudge to a blind bat. All the Underworlds boxes in the US are about 35 quid for Warband boxes. Just casting the arse end of the stream. Thank you very much. Good Abend. I think I was right. VJ says, hopefully we can get some more Uncle Adams or regulars to come over here and become BlackJack Arenas. I'd always be happy with more folks. More people, more nice folks like you lot who like to just come and hang out is always a good thing. Peter said, I didn't study German language. I studied German, but only up to about the age of 13. And then I have had no more lessons. But I used to go to Germany quite a lot in my old job. And so I kind of picked up little bits and pieces, but enough to order a beer, pretty much. Dave Mackay's obviously got time to go to bed. Night, mate. How are we doing for time? We've got like 5 to 11. We can start to kind of wrap things up now. So tonight, we've gone through all the Years of Base stuff. I'll find a place on Facebook and see if I can put them in a folder somewhere so people can go back and have a look at them pictures, because there's some awesome ones in there and they should be kind of shared out. We've gone through all of the Ace of Base stuff. We've picked the winner. Adam Edgar, if he gets to find out, is our winner. I'll contact him and get him something sent out. We also went through all of the Kill Team stuff that came from the weekend. Essentially, the summary of that is I'm a little bit disappointed. It's nice stuff in the box, but I ain't overly impressed with it. I certainly won't be spending my money on it. We went over the Cursed City stuff. That on the flip side, I'm absolutely made up about it. Can't wait to get my hands on that one. We talked a little bit about Dystopian Wars, Hunt for the Prometheus, the new box set for Dystopian Wars. We had a little bit of chat about that. We've talked a little bit about some MDF terrain stuff we've been painting up as well, getting ready for doing the Malifaux, how to play a video and stuff. It's all go on the channel. But if you missed the start of the channel, so essentially this week, my videos might be a little bit all over this week because my little boy's had to isolate from nursery. He's absolutely fine. He's got no symptoms or anything like that. But somebody who he's been in contact with has contracted COVID, so he has to isolate for a week. My wife's kind of sort of got meetings booked in for every day this week. So between us, we're trying to kind of look after him at home and stuff. So all of the stuff I had planned for this week is kind of on hold at the minute. I'll get like the Tuesday clips video out. I'll probably, because I've done Kill Team and Cursed City tonight, I'll probably do them as 2 separate clips videos. We'll still be doing the Wednesday night hobby hangout stuff, but getting this kind of stuff finished that I wanted to get done and out of the way to start the Malifaux stuff might have to wait till next week. So please bear with me this week. It's a bit of a last minute. I only got the email on Saturday morning to say he had to isolate, so we kind of threw my plans up a little bit. Beavis is saying, thanks for the video about the cheap airbrushes. I wanted to try them for ages, but didn't have the cash to splash. Do you know what, mate? It's one of those things where you think, there's no way it can be any good. They must be garbage, really. They must be useless. And I just thought, you know what? That's my job now, to do this kind of stuff, review stuff. Even if I buy the cheap stuff and see even if it was absolute garbage, at least I'm saving people money by not buying it, telling you it's rubbish, don't buy it kind of thing. But it wasn't garbage, surprisingly. And then what I can do is I can compare this to more expensive kits and say, whilst this is good, is it still worth spending more money and upgrading from day one, if you like? So I can do that kind of stuff now as well. So yeah, just gives me some different stuff to make content on. James says, I had the choice of German or French, but I took German because a girl I fancied picked German. Important academic choices. I was doing French and German up until kind of 13-year-old, and then you do your options at school and you choose the ones that you want to do exams in. I think I was the last year where it wasn't compulsory to study a language all the way up to kind of exam level. So I didn't choose any languages at all. I chose like technology and history and graphic design and computer studies and stuff like that. German 3D print nerd says, I'm bilingual. Most people in Europe are, mate, unfortunately. It's just us Brits that are born idle, lazy. He says, I had COVID too. I hope you've recovered fully from that, mate. Peter saying there's no shame in that these days. Tony says, we like more people. We're a nice lot we're a nice lot, no growly types. Christian does an amazing job with modern, which helps keep this a safe place. You lot probably see some of the comments that I don't see. I see all the people that's been banned from the live streams in the background. John says, I'm barely monolingual. Coming from Newcastle, mate, I'm exactly the same. I'm lucky if people can understand the language I speak. Palmsy said, we made our French teacher run out in tears, but I won't go into that. Adam Jackson says, best of luck with the childcare. Thanks for the stream. Looking forward to the next challenge. Yes, I'll get the next challenge up in the next few days. I'm just finalising what I want it to be. But we'll kick it off like February the 1st and we'll have it run all the way through till the end of the month and give people 4 weeks to work on that one. Christian said, I had a choice of French or nothing as my German teacher left. I chose nothing. Tasty Brain Drain says, it's all good about the delays, man. You're doing something far, far more important. Yeah, but it's still my job, mate. And it's like I've got plans. Like I've got my board over there with all the stuff on that I've got planned. And it's like anything. As soon as one thing has to get delayed, everything gets delayed. So yeah, I apologise if there's any gaps in the schedule because of it. Cass says, I've fallen into this hobby due to COVID stress. It's saving my sanity while I blunder through building and painting. Keep up the good work. You too. It's nice to have you involved, Kath. James says, computer studies, mate. Did you use a lot of punch cards? Do you know what it is, mate? Taking the piss now. The computer studies I did was like, it was awful stuff. It was all like if I compare it to what my lads did at GCSE for computer studies, I did things like databases and stuff. Like I remember my exam being like looking at the police national computer, like there's been a red Ford Escort with the first letter of the registration A. Can you find the full registration? It was like interrogating databases and stuff. It was pathetic. There was no such thing as emails and stuff back then. There was no internet back then either when I was kind of doing my GCSEs. But yeah, compared to like what my sons are doing, my sons for their GCSE stuff were writing video games and like designing websites and stuff like that, writing code, completely different. Peter says, what is the language you speak? I speak the Queen's English, don't you know? Margaret says, I took 3 years of Latin in high school since I wanted to work as a biologist, but my math scores were not good enough. I took French in college, was taught German. It's amazing how many languages people in kind of mainland Europe speak versus like us lazy Brits. Generally, I'm generalising there. Fiji says, I was waiting until Ace of Base was finished before doing the next mini swap, so we'll kick that one off on the Discord. Yeah, don't honestly, mate, don't worry about my bits and pieces. That they're for a wider audience, really. But the mini swap stuff for the Patreons, people can feel free to try and like enter the same models into both things, type thing and stuff. I don't want to. I'm not intending to kind of like to take over or take precedence, mate. Moderate poo. Poo's all right, mate. You get away with that one. John Estel says, my French teacher was glad I was good at other things. That reminds me, I used to play the violin when I was in junior school, and we did a violin exam, and I was awful. And what my violin teacher told me was, have you ever considered playing the drums? I think that was her polite way of saying you ain't playing the violin anymore. Phil says, cheers for the stream, Andy. Take care, night, folks. Thank you very much. Vijay says, in the gap between now and whatever we want to do next. Yeah, honestly, mate, just Patreons, dive into the mini swap stuff. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Marcus says, I tried to learn Japanese on my own just to watch more anime. It didn't really work very well. I used to go to college with a girl who spoke fluent Japanese. And she was English. She wasn't Japanese. That's not why she spoke it. But yeah, I don't know where she learned it from. But yeah, she spoke fluent Japanese. Charles Green says, got to go. I have a few things to do before work. Take care. Thank you for coming in, mate. I'm just trying to catch up. Obviously saying he wants to get banned so he can watch Netflix next week. Just watch it, mate. Just watch it. Sunday says, I speak two languages, English and bad English. I just speak the one then, mate. Just bad English. Vijay says, all good, more chances for people to flex their hobby muscles. That's it, mate. It's just about motivating people to get stuff done. So, on those words, we're just after 11 o'clock. I'm going to say thank you very, very much to everybody that's been in tonight. Thank you for the donations we've had. If anybody wants to check out my Patreon and help kind of keep me working, keep me doing this for a living, I would massively appreciate that. Christian sharing the link there as well. Thank you very much, mate. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll have the clips video. If you don't want to watch the full live stream back, if you've just joined us, the clips videos is essentially those little topics that I take out. There's a lot of people don't like to watch like a 3-hour live stream or a 2-hour live stream, so they like the kind of condensed versions. So Tuesday we'll have that. Wednesday we'll have the hobby hangout, and then back end of the week really does depend upon what's happening with childcare and whether I can kind of working during the night and all that kind of stuff. So Thank you very much, folks. Take care. Make sure you stay motivated. Get them brushes out. Try and do a little bit every day. Keep painting. Stay motivated. And I will see you all in the hobby hangout on Wednesday. So, thanks for watching. Oh, or it would be if my little thing did work. It's decided it doesn't want to work. I'll have to do it manually. Bye, folks. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now.